Is there a cure for the narcissist? Narcissism, particularly narcissistic personality disorder, NPD, is a complex and deeply ingrained personality condition that affects the way an individual perceives themselves and others. It is characterized by an inflated sense of self-importance, a constant need for admiration, a lack of empathy, and a tendency to exploit others for personal gain. If you've ever been involved with a narcissist, you may have wondered, can a narcissist change? Or is there a cure for narcissism? Unfortunately, the answer is not straightforward, as treating narcissism is not as simple as administering a cure. In this article, we'll explore whether a narcissist can truly change, the challenges involved in treating narcissistic behavior, and what options are available for those who want to seek help. Understanding narcissism, a personality disorder. First, it's important to understand that narcissistic personality disorder, NPD, is classified as a personality disorder, which means it is a long-standing pattern of behavior that becomes entrenched over time. These patterns affect how a person thinks, feels, and behaves in almost every aspect of their life. Narcissists often have a grandiose sense of self-importance, believe they are special or unique, and expect others to recognize their superiority. They crave admiration and are highly sensitive to criticism or any perceived rejection. Narcissists often lack empathy for others, which makes them disregard the feelings and needs of those around them. These traits are ingrained and typically don't change overnight. The challenges of treating narcissism. While it may be possible for narcissists to seek treatment, curing or significantly altering their behavior is extremely difficult. There are several reasons why narcissism is so challenging to treat. 1. Lack of self-awareness. Narcissists often lack self-awareness, which is one of the major barriers to therapy. They may not recognize that their behavior is problematic, as they view themselves as superior and often see others as the problem. Because of this, they may not be motivated to change or seek help, making it difficult for therapists to address their issues. Resistance to therapy. A narcissist may resist therapy because they don't believe they have a problem. They might think that their behavior is justified or that others are the ones who need to change. This resistance often hinders progress in treatment. Blaming others. In therapy, narcissists may deflect responsibility for their actions, blaming others for their problems or shortcomings. This can make it hard for them to engage in meaningful self-reflection or work on their behavior. 2. Fear vulnerability. A narcissist's personality is often built around protecting their fragile self-esteem. They have a deep fear of vulnerability and exposure because it threatens their constructed image of perfection. Opening up about their insecurities or flaws in therapy can feel like a threat to their entire identity. Avoiding introspection. Narcissists may avoid introspection because it forces them to confront their insecurities and weaknesses. This resistance to vulnerability often prevents them from making any significant progress in understanding or changing their behavior. Defensiveness. Narcissists may become defensive when confronted with their own shortcomings. Therapy can bring up uncomfortable emotions that they are unwilling to face, leading them to dismiss the therapeutic process altogether. 3. Chronic need for validation. Narcissists are often addicted to external validation, and they rely on others to boost their self-worth. This need for constant admiration and affirmation makes them dependent on others for their emotional well-being. Manipulation. Narcissists can use manipulation and charm to gain attention and validation, even in therapy. This can derail the treatment process, as they may try to redirect the focus back to their own needs, rather than addressing their behavior or emotional struggles. Difficulty in relationships. Narcissists often struggle in relationships due to their lack of empathy and tendency to exploit others. In therapy, this can manifest as difficulty forming meaningful connections with the therapist or others, making it harder to work through interpersonal issues. Can narcissists change? While the challenges are significant, change is not entirely impossible. Narcissists can change, but only if they recognize the need for change and are willing to put in the effort. Successful treatment requires the individual to acknowledge their behavior and be motivated to address the underlying insecurities that drive their narcissistic tendencies. This usually requires long-term therapy, often over several years. Therapeutic approaches. Treatment for narcissism typically involves psychotherapy, also known as counseling or talk therapy. The most effective approach is cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, which helps individuals identify and challenge the thought patterns and behaviors that contribute to their narcissistic tendencies. Therapy aims to address the root causes of narcissism, such as low self-esteem, insecurity, and a lack of empathy. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT. CBT helps individuals change harmful thinking patterns and develop healthier ways of thinking and behaving. Narcissists may benefit from learning to recognize and change the distorted beliefs that they have about themselves and others. Schematherapy. Schematherapy focuses on identifying and changing long-standing patterns, schemas, of behavior that develop in childhood. It can be helpful for narcissists who have deep-seated issues with self-worth and emotional regulation. Mentalization-based therapy, MBT. MBT helps individuals develop empathy by teaching them to understand and reflect on their own emotions and those of others. This can be particularly useful for narcissists, who often struggle with emotional awareness and empathy. Group therapy and support. Group therapy can also be helpful for narcissists who are open to it. In a group setting, narcissists may learn from others' experiences and gain insight into their own behavior. However, group therapy can be difficult for narcissists because they may struggle with sharing the spotlight or being criticized by peers. Support groups for victims of narcissistic abuse may also be helpful for the narcissist's partner or family members, providing a space to heal and learn about how to set boundaries with a narcissist. Is there hope for change? The reality is that not all narcissists are willing or able to change. Many narcissists do not seek treatment, and even those who do may struggle with the deep emotional work needed to alter their behavior. Treatment requires an individual to confront difficult truths about themselves, something that many narcissists are either unwilling or unable to do. Minimal change. In some cases, narcissists may only experience minimal changes in behavior, and those changes may be temporary. While they might be able to suppress their narcissistic traits during therapy, they often return to their old behaviors once therapy ends. Increased awareness. Some narcissists can develop increased awareness of their behavior and its impact on others, and they may work to reduce their harmful tendencies. However, true and lasting change requires consistent effort and the desire to become a better person, not just a better version of themselves in front of others. Conclusion. Is there a cure for narcissism? Not in the traditional sense. Narcissistic personality disorder is a deeply ingrained condition that is difficult to treat. However, with the right therapy and a willingness to change, some narcissists can improve their behavior and develop healthier relationships. Treatment is a long and challenging process, and progress is often slow. If you're dealing with a narcissist, it's important to focus on protecting your own well-being and setting clear boundaries. Whether or not they change, your mental and emotional health should always come first.